Hello lovely people and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are doing an art video. This video is one that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, and drum roll please. Today I am doing Create This book. Yay, finally! I have had these for a few years, so I am very excited to get started on these. As you can tell, I started doing this second one here, but I was not liking how it was turning out, so I just stopped doing it. So I'll have to finish that sometime, but today's not the day. Today we are working on the first book. So here it is. So white and ready to be decorated. Alright, so the first few pages just have, the basic information, like the title page where you put your name and, the copyright and all that stuff. And then this one here, this is the one I was looking for, tips and tricks. To start this project, I am starting with the cover, and the cover has 3 good options for decorating. So I'm going with the acrylic paint, since that is what I have. Before I painted it, I decided to do a rough sketch idea for how I wanted to paint it. I decided to use my favorite color blue, and I decided to use green since they go well together, those colors. Since 2 colors can be just kind of, meh on their own, I decided to do light colors of the blue and green as well. Add more variety, even though it's still just green and blue. Now that I have made the sketch, it is time to paint. These are the 2 blue and green colors I decided on. So first I'm starting with the blue, and for some reason the paint top was clogged, and that's why I was struggling so much to get the paint out. Next, the green, which has decided to come out noisily. At the start, I was nervous to put the paint on because I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want it to look like book number 2, womp womp. To start off, I painted the small things. I don't know, it just felt like those would be a good place to start. The first one, the pencil, for some reason was really easy to paint. Then when I tried painting the little paint blob at the bottom, for some reason I really struggled. I even at one point wiped off all the paint and just tried again. Eventually I was able to do it though. Next, I did a big part, the big paint blob. For this one, I decided to do green and blue stripes to fill it in. Originally, I was going to blend the stripes together at the end, kind of blend it all out, make it look nice, but when I finished, I kind of liked how the stripes looked. This part was probably the hardest for me, and it took quite a while. The hardest part for me was not getting paint on the black letters. Even though the letters were black, the paint easily covered them up. So I had to be very careful and paint in the lines, I guess you could say. But I'm not the best at painting in lines. I could probably do it with markers a lot easier, but painting is harder for me for some reason. I kept having to go back over some parts since my paint was going all over the place. I probably would have preferred to decorate the cover with markers, but the cover has a smooth texture to it, so in the tips and tricks, Moriah Elizabeth says to use permanent markers. The only permanent markers I really have are Sharpies, the black Sharpies, and I think a black and white color might have been slightly boring, especially since it starts out black and white. I think I definitely prefer the color paint, lol. A little off topic, but Moriah Elizabeth is one of my favorite YouTubers. If you haven't watched her before, I definitely would suggest you watch her. Alright, and back to the project. And I have finally finished painting the big paint blob area, whatever you call it, yay. Next, I am mixing up the lighter colors, and of course, I have to pull off the dried paint. I don't know if anyone else does this, but the dried clumps of paint on the bottles always annoy me, and I have to take them off. As I was mixing these paints, I realized they kind of look like the Pickle and Derp characters from Moriah Elizabeth, the colors of those characters, especially the blue. This was not on purpose, but I thought that was kinda ironic, me doing a Moriah Elizabeth book, and I added character colors. Anyway, I then painted the background the light green. I wasn't sure if I wanted to paint over some of the words or not, but I decided to paint over the color me next to the pencil and the words same inspiring prompts at the top. I left the words by Moriah Elizabeth and you because I kinda liked it, but the rest were covered, especially since it would have been difficult to paint around those small letters and words. That's also why I just made a little bubble around the words I did keep, because I didn't want to paint around each letter. That would have been extremely difficult and very time consuming. Since this is a bigger area to color, it was a lot easier to paint in. Next was the light blue on the border. Looking back at this, I probably should have painted the little pencil blue and the little paint blob at the bottom of the page green, but that's okay, it still looks alright. Since I was painting the edge of the cover, I didn't want to get paint all over the other pages, so that's why I put a piece of paper there for protection. And done. Front cover complete. Now for the bindage or the edge, I don't know, whatever you call that part. I decided to just continue the light blue since it was already on the edge of the front, so that just made sense to me. With the words here, I did the bubble thing like on the front since that just makes it a whole lot easier. Then I just have the back left. Yay! The back had these barcodes which I decided I definitely wanted to cover up, and it had like a lot of words, and at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to cover them up or not. And of course I put the paper in again. You don't want to get paint everywhere. I don't know why, but I decided to keep the little search bar on the back. A silly decision, but I think it worked out in the end. After I went over everything, that's when I decided I was going to paint over the words. Painting on this cover took me quite a while, especially since I had to do at least 2 coats on everything. Lots of paint. Then for the paintbrush and crayon, or whatever that small drawing thing is, I painted them in the dark blue and green. So then like the front, it has the dark and the light colors. This part was pretty easy and I am very close to finishing. Yay! This next part I'm going to show you, I forgot to show you me doing it on the front cover, but I did it on this back cover. So I took a Sharpie and I went over the black edges since it was so hard to stay in the line with painting, and it just helped to fix them up a little bit. It definitely helped to make it look a lot better. It did take a little while, but it definitely for sure helped. Then the only color missing on the back side was the light green, so I painted the little tape pieces. Once I painted these, the back then felt a little bit empty, so I decided to paint on some paint splotches. I don't know if you call them that, but I'm calling them splotches. I feel like this added a lot and made it look more, complete. On camera, it does look a little bit silly, like kind of like bleh, but I promise in person, it does look good. At least to me it does. Then to make it cohesive, I added the splooches on the binding and the front cover. To make sure all the paint stays on and all my hard work doesn't go away, I then took some Mod Podge to protect it, and I just painted the whole thing. And voila, it is complete. I am super happy with how this turned out. It was super fun to do, and I can't wait to do the inside as well. I was planning to do the inside for this video, but I did not have time this week, so hopefully next time I will. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!